Sense gratification.
Sense gratification, yes. And that can be of various forms. It can be very gross or it can be very subtle. So Vyasa had done a good job. He had written Vedas, he had written Mahabharata, he had written many great books, but he was not feeling happy. And because of that lacking, he was honest. And so his guru came and enlightened him in the knowledge of Krishna consciousness, which is higher than that. So sometimes people are confused. Here speaking about karma, these people are confused. They're thinking that, you just, be good, do good. You heard that mantra before? Be good, do good. And that'll be fine. That'll be fine. But as we can see here, yes, he did be good and do good, but he didn't feel good about it because he knew that there is a higher level. There's a bigger responsibility, which is Savai pung paro dharma yato bhakti radokshuje haikukiya pratiyata yana mansusidati. That when we're actually following parodharma, not manodharma, not just manusya dharma, not just stri dharma and dharma and this and that, but the dharma, we'll actually feel we feel very pleased at heart. That's why Krishna says in Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Now the first part, Jai. Now when people hear Sarva Dharman Parityaja, give up all dharmas, they think, Haribol, Ki Jai. I was on Radhastami in Reykjavik a couple of years ago in the Indian embassy giving a program, a talk. And after the talk, one local lady, elderly lady, she was a hippie. You know what a hippie is? No? Like Dharavesha, like long hair and, very colorful, fancy dress and all that. And after the lecture, she jumped up and she ran towards me and she wanted to embrace me. She wanted to give me a big bear hug, like hippies do, like love and peace, right? And I had to apply the most powerful martial arts move that I learned from my Gurudev. What is the most powerful martial arts move?
Run.
Like this. Because I saw my Gurudev one time. Anyway, I'll tell that story later, otherwise we get distracted. So I went like this, and she came flying, and then she saw me. And she went also like this. And then she screamed out, "No rules!" And she ran out the door and never came back. Because she didn't like. So what is Krishna saying? Give up all these dharmas, Kula dharma, Manodharma, this dharma, that dharma. And then, Mamikam Sharanam Braja. So wholeheartedly, with single mind, dedicate yourself to my service, to my pleasure. And that part people don't like so much, because it's kind of, narrows their opportunities in life, right? They think, I want to go everywhere, I want to eat everything, I want to see everything. Well, I want to taste everything. Have you met people like that? Like we see the Desis, they come to the West, right? And they think, now finally, let's go, yeah. What I have not tasted. Well, why don't you taste cyanide? Nobody knows what the taste is, because those who tried, they're not here today. So why don't you try it? There is so many things that you can try, but they're not so good for you. So the law of elimination, crossing out your bucket list, it doesn't work. Why? Because you don't live long enough to do all the stupid things that you can do in this world. That's why we need acharyas who teach by their own example. So my Gurudev, one time he was doing a talk, and there was one reporter, and a nice lady, and she really liked his talk. So after the talk also she came up to him and she wanted to give him a hug. And he went like this. And then she also went like this, and she said, "You changed my life." And Gurudev said, "You almost changed my life." So, we have to know our limits. We have to know our limits. Otherwise, you'll become another casualty. Like all these super smart but socially awkward Bengalis who came, all the big guys, they were Bengalis, right? All of them, without getting into names. And some of them did hatha yoga, others did sports, others did gimmicks, others did social work, others were jnanis, were philosophers. But they all made fools out of themselves because there was no parodharma. There was no really, there was not really mamekam sharanam vraja. And therefore, it was just useless. Shrama eva hi kevalam. It was just shrama, shrama. Just a lot of hard work. Kastam kaman aratevi pujanye. Tapodivyam putrakena sattam shugyet pramasokyam tvanantam. That when you're actually practicing Krishna consciousness, then what happens? Bhakti pareshanubhava viraktiranyatrascha. Chaishaika. And so on. You know all these shlokas. But what happens? You get anubhav. You get actually experience. Pratyaksha. Directly. And what does that result in? Bhakti parish anubhav. Virakti. Naturally you become detached and you become a little more respectful towards material nature. Whereas people who are not spiritually advanced, they think, oh no, material nature, no problem, no problem. I can handle it. I can handle it. Have you ever met an addict? Yeah? Have you ever looked in the mirror? You met an addict? We are all addicts. The question is just what I'm addicted to. What if it's a fasting day? If there is no internet? What if there is no ability to travel? We feel very anxious, we feel very upset, we feel very disturbed. Why? Because we are all addicts. What is the sign of an addict? I was in San Francisco. My Gurudev asked me to open a center there. And because it's a very intense city, people are living very, very passionate life. So there's many addicts, drug addicts, lying in the street, needles in their arm, all kind of symptoms and scenarios, not getting into details. But what is the sign of an addict? What does an addict tell you? I can quit any day. Have you heard this before? I can quit. Social media. You need social media? Oh, I can quit any day. Why don't you do it? Unsubscribe. Unplug. Refocus. Recalibrate. Oh no, he's preaching. Prabhu is preaching. Oh really? Really? Preaching. To who? What is the message? Your own glory? Or Krishna's glory? So the mind is very easy to justify and say, oh yes, yukta vairagya, yukta vairagya, yukta, yes, but yukta, what does yukta mean? It means dovetail. It means Krishna has to be not just, in the closet somewhere, but Krishna has to be in the center. That means yukta. And he's the essence. And anything that is supporting Krishna Seva, Krishna Katha, Hari Katha, that is accepted. And everything that gets in the way and is an obstacle, even if it is so-called dharma, it has to be abandoned. Yudhishthira had to see hell, hellish planets. Why? Because Krishna told him to tell a lie. You know the story from Mahabharata, right? Because Yudhishthira said, Ashwatthama, the elephant. He couldn't help it. He had to say the elephant. Because he's Dharmaraj. He can't lie. It's not possible. But Krishna told him, sometimes you have to give up your attachment to, oh, I'm a good person. Like Arjuna, he wanted to be a good guy. And he said, let me do a little yoga and meditation and Om Shanti, 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 and be good, do good. Go to the forest, ahimsa, ahimsa parodharma. And Krishna said, you know what? None of these people here are going home tonight. Nobody's going home. They're all staying here. Either you do it or someone else will do it, but it will happen. And if you're in the forest, what will happen? People will go and will say, hey, look, Arjun, let's fight. And then you're in a disadvantageous position because you're pretending to be a yogi who then has to again take up arms and become a kshatriya. And that is not a good way how to act. So here, Narad is instructing Vyas and all of us how bhakti is a progressive path. It doesn't mean jumping from here to there in 3 seconds or 5 seconds, but it's a progressive path. Chaturvarnamya sristam gunakarma vibhagusha. I was on a flight in the Caribbean, and you have to understand Caribbean, for those who haven't been there or studied much history, is about 40% blacks, 40% Indian descent, and then 20 mixed, Chinese, European, and all sorts of. So next to me on the flight was an Indian gentleman, or from Indian descent. They were mostly Biharis and Eastern UP, who were, attracted, lured by the Britishers. When slavery got abolished, they had no more workforce. So they needed workforce. So they offered people deals, like now companies are offering deals. And then they change the deal as you go along. Right? Constant renegotiation is happening. So they say, look, you do 10 years and then we give you land and this and that and everything will be good, right? And it became 15, 20, 25. But after 3-4 generations now, they own the countries. They own the islands. So, gentleman sitting next to me on the flight, he saw me reading Shastra. And after a while, he couldn't help it and he started chuckling. Like smiling in kind of subdued way. And he was saying, it's funny that, did you know that you cannot become a Hindu unless you were born a Hindu? And I said, really? How come so? And he said, well, grandma says this, and I heard this, and the other guy says that, and this, that, and the other thing. And I just let him go on. And after 5 or 7 minutes, he said, actually, I don't know. And I said, you know what? This is the first honest and truthful thing that you said. And I didn't start quoting Shastra, I just asked him 1 or 2 questions. And then he decided that he preferred to go back to eating his hamburger with his girlfriend. Because and philosophy is a little heavy, if you're going on pleasure trip, to Curacao, to do all the stuff you're not supposed to do when your family and friends are around. So he decided, no, this is okay. We're done with this discussion, and we move on. But that can happen when we get confused and we don't know what is parodharma and what is the other duties that we have in life. Just like there's so many things we have to do in this world. Anybody has a job? Anybody has a boss? Anybody's paying taxes? There's a lot of things we have to do in this world. But then there is that parodharma that should not just be a mechanical thing, should not just be another duty, another chore. Oh, now again I have to chant 16 rounds. If there is no preaching, then at some point we feel, why has Gurudev left me with this great burden? Why has he left me with this great burden? To take care of the deities, to take care of the temple, to take care of the preaching, to take care of other people. Why get up early? It's just a burden. Why? Because it's duty. And duty is sattva gun, but because mostly we're a little mixed. We're not purely sattva gun. There might be still a little bit of rajas. Rajas, tamo, bhava, kama, lobha, dayascha. We have to get out of these lower modes. But even goodness is not good enough. Have you ever gone out on Sankirtan and then there is some orderly warrant, from the council who comes and says, I like you guys, but I'm just doing my duty. But you can't do this here, okay? And have you noticed how much bhava they experience when they can tell you that you can't do this, They feel like ecstatic symptoms are manifesting. Because finally, they're nobody in the institution. I mean, they're a guy who walks on the street, it's like the parking ticket guy. Finally, they can tell somebody, no, you can't be here. And I have the authority to tell you, and I have the authority to enforce it. and I'm gaining great pleasure from it. So, and it's just duty, okay? I'm just being a good person doing my job. That's why we have to understand not just the letter of the law, but the spirit of the law. One time, Jayananda Prabhu, the first ISKCON saint, who was also the temple president in San Francisco, he was also fixing the cars. He was driving a cab, a taxi, to maintain the temple. And he worked so hard that in Bhagavatam, he would not sit down. He would stand up against the wall, because if he would sit down, he would just fall asleep. So one time, he had stolen a pair of pants, and he was before the judge, and the judge asked him, why did you do it? Why did you do it? It's like in a thrift store, like second-hand store. It was like £5, for a pair of used blue jeans. And in tears, Jayananda was telling the judge, I cannot spend God's money for myself. The judge took out his wallet, he gave the $5 to the shopkeeper, and he said, you can all go home now, case closed. Why? Because he understood the spirit of the law, not only the letter of the law. So don't become smartas. I know we have great tradition and great culture, and there's a lot of adhikar there, but sometimes it can work against you. Because you think that if I don't throw water 108 times this side, and I don't find that black earth that was dug up by a boar on the full moon night, we can't do this. And you end up having a lot of cats in the baskets. You know the cats in the baskets too? There's a young girl, and she attends a wedding in the family. And there's a cat running all over the place. And the priest gets annoyed, because cats are muchi, so don't keep cats in your house, Animals are okay outside in nature, but not in your house. So, like now you can see it's becoming a fashion, even amongst Indian. They're walking around with their dog, they're feeling like, yo, I'm the master. And I don't have just some street dog, I have like some German shepherd or something, So that means I made it, right? Now I'm part of the thing, because I got a dog. Animals are fun, but they have their place to be. So, the pujari got annoyed, so he went, he picked up the cat, and he put her in a basket, and closed it, and was standing there in the corner. So that girl, she remembered that there was a cat in the basket. So when she got married, she told the priest there has to be a cat in the basket. Because that's what she knew, because that's what she experienced. So there's a lot of lower types of dharmas, and a lot of folklore, and a lot of hearsay that we pick up just going through life, and then we think, no, we have to do this, and then all that stuff becomes the main thing, and bhakti, preaching, compassion becomes just an idea. Oh we have 3 brahmacharis there in Manor. They're doing that, They're doing it for all of us, and every now and then, we'll sponsor one or 2 Gitas, maybe 1 or 2 cases of Gita. No. Just like if somebody gives you a bunch of candles and a little bit of decoration and a little bit of whipped cream and puts that in your hand, you say, what is this? Where is the cake? Now decoration is nice if cake is there, right? But if cake is not there, decoration is useless. It's useless. So we have to understand what is the essence and what is the detail. What is the principle and what is the detail. Otherwise, if you take details to be principles and principles to be details, then things get very complicated. Now, there's so many things we have to do in this world. But what is Narad's message to Vyas here? Don't let bhakti become a thing that's also just one thing to do on my to-do list. But keep it on top priority. This is what I want to do. Just like if you made a commitment to your wife that yes, we'll go shopping on Saturday because there's some needs, there's some necessities. I know guys, if they have one shirt and one dhoti, it's okay, right? That's it. subject is closed. Huh? But other people have other needs. So anyway, there's that commitment. But then the friends say, no, now it's World Cup, and we really have to watch this. Otherwise, the world will stop turning. So we have to go and watch this. Because we're modern people, we're educated people, we need to live in the world. So we can preach, right? We can preach. If you don't know about soccer or about cricket, or how can you preach, right? Is it possible? No, you have to know about that stuff. Otherwise you're like some hermit, right? Some yogi. So, and then your friend calls you and says, hey, hey Joshi, come on, we gotta go. All the buddies, all the friends are there and we're gonna watch it. And okay, not going to the bar because they're deshis. Okay, we're doing it at home, big screen, the whole thing. No alcohol, sadly. And then Joshi says on the phone, and his wife is in the other room, but she's hearing everything. He says, I have to go shopping with my wife. How do you feel? How do you feel if you hear it? You feel happy? Oh yes, he's coming shopping with me. No. Similar way when you tell people, oh, I have to chant my rounds. Oh, I have to read Bhagavatam. Oh, I have to go on book distribution. I can't do what I want to do because I have to do that. So don't make bhakti another thing that you have to do, because Krishna is not impressed by that. Because it's not a mechanical thing that I throw a little flour and a little fruit and a little water and a few coins and then, No, bhakti is an expression of our heart, of our love. I was in Dallas, Texas, doing book distribution, door to door in a strip mall, which is, do they have this in English? Yeah, it just means like a row of stores, right? And I went in one of them, and I felt like I was in India. There was pictures, different devas and avatars, and there was an altar, there was bananas, incense, coconut, this, that, the other thing. And there was a young gentleman, Ram Tulsi, from Bangalore, who went to Gurukul, and he was a Jyotish. And I asked him, Ram Tulsi, how's life? And he said, terrible, terrible, terrible. There's people coming all day, calling all day and all night, problem. And no matter what I do, it's getting worse. And I said, yeah, you know why? Because you're dealing with details. You're not giving them the principle. You're not educating these people to get out of Maya, to actually do what they're supposed to do, which is bhakti. You have to give them spiritual knowledge. He said, yes, correct. I remember. Gurukul, yes, I heard. Don't just do all this, all this stuff. So how do I give them transcendental knowledge? I said, well, you have to give them books. He said, I don't have any books. I said, don't worry, I got books. I will give you books. How many books do you need? I said, I need a lot of books. I said, okay, I got my truck outside. So I went outside, I got like 3-4 boxes. I put the whole table full of books, like a couple of hundred books. And then he asked me, well, how much? And I said, look, this is like Gurukul, like I give everything and you give everything. So, it's not it, right? You're not asking, oh, seva, how long is it going to take your seva? How do I know, right? You give. So then this is the dream of every Sankirtan devotee. He opens the drawer and he sticks his hand in, he grabs a whole wad of cash and he just hands it to me, $870 something. I counted later on. So next year I come back and I ask, hey Ram Tulsi, how's it going? And he says, fantastic, better questions, better dialogue. More people are appreciating. But don't worry, I still have books. So I said, no, I didn't come here to give you more books for the people. I came here to give you a gift. Because last time I didn't have it, but this time I have it. So I brought in Bhagavatam and CC. I just gave him a free gift for you, my friend. Why? Because we're on the same team. We're playing on the same team. So I have to empower you and appreciate you. So he opens the drawer, sticks his hand in, gives me one. You want to know where Ram Tulsi lives? I won't tell you. He's my disciple. He's my chela. I saw him first. I met him first. No, of course, you can look him up. Ram Tulsi, Jyotish, Dallas, Texas. And he will be very happy. Tell him Navin, the Swiss guy, sends you. He will be very happy to meet you. In the Bhagavatam, we don't see any of this insecurity. We don't see any of this territorialism. Amar Bari, Tomar Bari, my guru, my project, my abhiman, my ego. If I'm not in charge, I'm not coming. You have heard that? Either I'm the boss or chalo ja. How much bhakti is there? How much advancement is there? If you can only play, if you're the captain of the team, you're not going to play many games. No. Because you have to start learning the whole thing. What do business people do? The Marwaris, they don't send their kids to Cambridge, Oxford, or IIT or Harvard. No. They send them to the store of the uncle. And they say, okay, clean the floor, get the deliveries, do the accounts, clean the trash, do this, do that. And you learn 360, the whole thing. And then they give them little money, little more money, little more money. They see what they do with the money. Are they going out, buying stupid things? Or are they investing? Are they doing the right thing? And then they give them the whole business. And they retire and just go to Switzerland and to Hawaii. And travel the world, have a good life. Yesterday I met a couple from Mauritius, Indian descent. Same thing. They needed sugarcane cutters. They got them from those places in India. And now they own the country. And they were so happy to see the Harinam. Tottenham Court. Every Friday. Few devotees sitting there, nice, chanting, few books, a little bit of incense. And they just mesmerized standing there. And I talked to them in French, and they were super happy. And, talked a little bit about Mauritius, I've been there, this and that. The gentleman gave me 50 pounds for Bhagavad Gita. And said, thank you very much. This is like the highlight for them, seeing the Hare Krishna. Somebody who is doing. So, we have to guard against these tendencies. Otherwise, we'll again become caught up in our conditioning. And it doesn't matter whether our conditioning is tamagun, rajagun, or sattvagun, or a mixture of that. Because gunas means what? Binding, yes. Gunas means can't leave. You're a prisoner of your own imagined success or failure. So, Prabhupada was very merciful that he translated and gave us his commentary to help us understand what is parodharma. And if we don't know that, then we kind of miss the boat. Did you ever miss the bus or the boat or the train? It's kind of terrible. Okay, you can say if you're there at the station, the next one is in 10 or 20 minutes, not a big deal, right? But I went from Guyana to Suriname, and there is a ferry that goes once a day. It's only half hour to get over the river, but it goes once a day. And the whole process takes about 5 hours because they made it very bureaucratic. And if you miss the ferry, well then it's, tough luck. So don't miss the boat. Don't miss the essence. Otherwise we will be sorry. You ever meet people who are from sorry? Yes? And then I ask them, are you sorry? And they usually don't get it. But it's okay. It's okay. So, we are very fortunate that Srila Prabhupada gave us this Bhagavatam. Yet if we think that this is just for ourselves, this is just for our benefit, then we'll end up being at best Kanishtadikari. At best Kanishtadikari. What does it mean to be a Kanishtadikari? You like to argue, you like to fight, you like to disagree, and prove your own superiority and your own position. So, but if you want to advance to Madhyam, Ishvara Tadavineshu, Balidvesu, Sachucha, Prema Maitrika, Kripa, Upeksha, Yak Karoti, Samadhyamaha, then we have to learn how to cooperate and how to appreciate and how to involve others and empower others. Because that's what we see here in the Bhagavatam. Narad, he played his role. And Vyas, he played his role. And together we have something very beautiful, very powerful here. So, these are some reflections. I don't know how long class is supposed to last on Saturday morning. 8:30. Questions, comments, or reflections? I can tell stories till the cows come home, but I have not seen too many cows. see. Tell me.
You say that Krishna has to be in the center of the duties, but then you have to take care of the family. Then you have your office work.
Sure.
So when you do go into the office work, you spend time, and sometimes it goes up to night, and then there's 16-hour job.
Sometimes it's unlimited. Nityam.
Yeah.
Nitya Seva.
How do you balance this? This has been a very burning question for a long time. And I've been really struggling with this.
Thank you for your honesty. So, who do you rather work for, the boss or Krishna?
Well, from my boss.
Huh?
Actually, office, when I'm in office, I have to work for my managers.
Yeah, but your manager is not really, owning or ruling your life. So if you actually, pranayarthayarthya, if we understand that, okay, I have my occupation, I have my things to do in this world, but I'm not doing them for the boss, for the company, for the fame, name, glory, to climb the corporate ladder. And, like Prabhupada was in Japan, printing the books, and he talked to one of the managers, younger, and there's a whole team there, all the managers of Dai Nippon, that printing company who printed the Bhagavatam, the first edition. And the person who was assistant, he was like a clerk, a secretary. When they were out discussing, because there was some price negotiation going on, there was all that stack of business cards. Everybody had given their business cards. So Prabhupada had a whole stack of business cards there. And so he asked that clerk, what is your goal in life? And the man took his business card and he put it on the top of the pie. And he said, that's my goal. I want to be on top of the pie. But if you're a small rat or a big rat, what's the difference? You're still a rat, right? You're still in the rat race. And nobody gets out alive. But if you understand that I have my duties in this world, but I'm doing what I'm doing to please Guru and Krishna, then, like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you can see Parudra is a king. Then you have others, Murari Gupta, he's a doctor. Kolavecha Sridhar, he sells banana products. And others are beggars, and others are businessmen, others are zamindars, they're very wealthy people. So the occupation, that's detailed. But what is your bhava? Is it achyuta bhava or is it asura bhava? Is it ishvaro aham bhogi, I'm the controller, I'm the enjoyer, this is meant for my enjoyment? Or do I do what I have to do to please Guru and Krishna? And then having a job is not binding because you're not doing it out of false ego, but you're doing it because it has to be done, because you're in that position. Now, how to find that balance? You have to keep priorities. Just like if you have family and kids, your sadhana happens before the kids wake up. Don't make the kids hate Krishna and hate japa, because you never have time. You always go there, and you never want to play with me, you never want to be with me. So, as parents, we have to be mindful of that. Otherwise they develop a kind of a, either shantaras or, because they have that competitive, and you can't put children into that, that they have to choose. No. Does that satisfy you?
Yeah.
So balance your priorities and see what needs to be done when, and prioritize, and really manage your time. You see Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Prabhupada, all our acharyas, they were very exemplary. Don't waste time just in the name of doing research. You ever jump down a rabbit hole and after 2 hours you don't know what was there in the beginning? What was the initial question? How did we end up here? How did we get there? And it's hard to backtrack sometimes because it's easy to get a little lost and can't see the forest for the trees. Okay? And ultimately, you need sangha. You need people who can give you honest feedback. Otherwise, you end up like Bharat. You end up like you're having a little deer, who's very dear to you. And then you end up being a deer in your next life. But if you have a sangha of practitioners, they will say, hey, Bharat, what's up with the deer? We haven't seen you. Long time. What's going on? Oh, my kids, they're doing what? What they're doing? Martial arts, violin, ballet, kickbox, this, that, the other thing. super popular now. I was in Bay Area for 5 years, you know. All these, you know, super vata, you know, Brahmin background families, they're sending their kids into martial arts. They think they will become tough, you know. They will get ahead in the game, you know, because now they know how to fight. I'm like, huh? The world is ruled by mantra, not by yantra. Everything you see here is by ideas. Somebody had an idea, yes, and the engineers made plans and the builders built, but the idea, the seed, is what is powerful. Okay? So don't get confused. And yeah, it takes a little bit of discipline. It takes a little bit of discipline. Which shouldn't be a problem because you're all from mostly Sattvic background, so the question is more, okay, how ambitious am I? How far up do I need to get? Well, that depends on your capacity. That depends on your capacity. But oftentimes we have to consider, okay, can I still do seva? Can I still have a spiritual life? Yes, you can work 3 jobs. It's possible. But I don't think it's what you want to do. Or you can work 1 job and work 24/7. Because right now there's team Singapore and team India and you know, like you play the stock market and you know, Japan opens first and then it's Hong Kong and then it's that and that and that and you always have to stay with it, you know. Because if you lose, then one moment you're off. But what if you lose your soul? What have you gained? We read Bhagavatam, you know, Ravan had everything, Hiranyakashipu had everything, but they lost their heads, you know, because they didn't know what it was all about. It can happen. Modes are powerful. Daivi esha gunamayi, mama maya duratyaya, mameva yekapayate, maya nitantarate. Don't think that the modes can't touch you. Maya has got your number. She knows where you live, and she knows your weakness. You know the Achilles heel? Achilles was a big, tough fighter, but here they healed this part. He was vulnerable, and that's where they got him. Why does Maya know? Why does Maya know your dark secrets?
Because she's everywhere.
Because she's everywhere, and also because she's Krishna's Maya. And because Krishna knows everything. So Maya knows what she has to know to do her job. So you can't hide. Don't keep some, you know, stuff hidden because all that stuff will come back and bite you at the worst time possible. So have satsang, have honest association where we're not afraid to reveal our struggle, our shortcomings, and where you can get counsel, where you can get help. Otherwise, if you think, oh, I am knowing everything. You ever meet people like that? I am not knowing how to speak English, but I am knowing everything. I always tell my friends, hey, come on guys, you have to meet this guy, he knows everything. I mean, it's fun, right? And then, what are you going to say? What are you going to tell the people who knows everything? There's no space. The glass is full. So they have to wait for the earthquake, you know, for the forest fire. It's not a question if it's going to happen in my life. It's just a question when. Because it's material world. Everything will just disintegrate. Yes, sir.
You have, in your speech you have mentioned that Yajishta got to hell because he lied, correct?
No, he didn't have to go to hell. He just had to see hell for a short moment. He just had that darshan. Because Krishna wanted him to understand one point, that don't be attached.
Okay,
To-
because he lied, he didn't follow the instruction of Krishna.
Yes.
Okay, so my question in that context,
Mhm.
so when Krishna and Arjuna were chasing Ashwadhama, that
Was?
when Krishna Arjuna was chasing Ashwadhama because he killed
Yes.
that time when they grabbed Ashwadhama, Krishna's direct instruction was for him to kill Ashwadhama immediately. But then he didn't do it. He didn't follow the instruction.
What's that? What happened?
Because Krishna has immediately
No,
asked.
Krishna didn't. Bhima wanted him to be killed. Huh? And Draupadi wanted him to be forgiven and released.
That is after that. But when he was chasing and when he grabbed immediately, that instant, the immediate instruction from Krishna was for him to not to grab, just kill him, straight. And that was instruction. He stopped, and it was explained in Bhagavatam. He stopped because Krishna came in his heart, and he enlightened him not to do this. And then he binded him and took it in front of. So I was thinking that time when Krishna has given him direct instruction to kill him, why he didn't follow the instruction immediately?
Because Krishna, he has many potencies. And sometimes you have to understand, Krishna, as you said, he's in the heart. And he enlightens you. But Krishna, as a Kshatriya, it's a very clear-cut decision, right? This guy needs to be eliminated. But then Krishna also saw that Draupadi says, no, he's the son of the teacher, and he's a Brahmin, and this and that. And so Krishna inspired Arjuna to actually dovetail, to actually combine these two seemingly contradictory instructions and act in such a way to please everybody. Because he took the jewel, he took his Shakti, he took his potency, which for a Brahmin is worse than that. Is worse than that. Huh?
And walled it.
Huh?
And walled it.
Yeah.
Here, that.
Yeah, cut the hair off.
Yeah.
So, just like when, I mean, you know, Mahabharata, you know, all these stories. Who was it? There was the rule that, because Draupadi had 5 husbands, but so one time, was it Arjuna who came in? Draupadi was in Yudhishthira, can you tell? Because my memory of Mahabharata is very faint. I have not studied it extensively, only what I read from Bhagavatam. So there was that rule that then they have to kill that person who comes and disturbs when Draupadi is with one of the 5 husbands. So then what did...
So it was Arjun whose Gandhi was in the chamber of Draupadi.
Okay.
And Yudhishthira and Draupadi was supposed
Like
so they
just-
had a vow that every 1 year Draupadi will spend with one of the husbands.
Okay.
And Draupadi and Yudhishthira were, in that time, they were just close in their own private moment. And Arjun barges in and takes the Gandhi and goes out directly because he was focused on killing
Get the job done.
Get the job done.
I'm just doing my duty. I need to save the world, okay? And I'm ready to break all the rules.
And Yudhishthira was very angry with him. And when Arjun comes back and explains that this was the scenario, people were attacking, taking out cows, we have to protect the domain. So then Yudhishthira was okay, fine. But then there was a vow that if anybody breaks into that chamber, he has to take 12 years of vanvas. So then Arjun again leaves the kingdom and goes back to do his penance for 12 years. And then he marries one Ulupi and Chitrangada, Kada, and then finally he comes to Dwarka, and then he got married to Subhadra. And when he comes back, Draupadi was waiting for him, and he comes with Subhadra, and Draupadi gets furious with him, and Krishna has to come and calm both of them down. So that's how the story was.
Thank you. Other comments or questions? So today we're going out to the Sri Prabhupada's books, and I know the mind says, I don't like this, I want comfort zone, give me anything but not rejection. What? How can somebody tell you no? Even worse, what if somebody just ignores me? I was coming back from India to San Francisco. I had one small book. And I was waiting for the bag at the carousel, and there was an Indian younger gentleman. And I approached him, and he just pretended I didn't exist. didn't say anything, he didn't look at me, he just pretended I was not there. And I just asked him, do you speak English? Then when I was outside, an elderly man came up to me and he said, my name is Jagannath, and my son over there, he's really angry with you because you asked him, do you speak English? And I got the message, okay, you know. It's okay to do the right thing, but you have to be detached. We're not the doers. The result is not in our hands. And people will appreciate. They may not take to it right in the first time. Like Prabhupada, he went to New York for 1 year. He was in the park chanting and nobody paid attention. And then slowly, some people started showing interest. So we should not be discouraged. Just like here we see South London. We've been here for a few decades, you know. And some people get discouraged. Have you noticed? Oh, where is the big mandir? Like they come here and they say, where's the mandir? And then he says, here. Where is it? You know, where is the mandir? Right? Yeah, that, right? Where is the chakra and the kala? What does temple mean? It's the house of God. It's where the Lord resides. It can be in your heart. Can be anywhere. The Goswamis, Sanatan Goswami, he was a Baba, you know, so he tied Madan Mohan in the tree branch. Okay, that's where you are. Okay, roti, no salt. Okay, I'm fine. So then later on, followers and disciples and admirers, they built palaces, but they didn't get bogged down with temple construction. They had other things to do. So we have to choose our battles, we have to choose our priorities, not get distracted. Sometimes we think if we just make a lot of money, then we can do a lot of preaching. We can buy the preaching. We'll import some brahmacharis from India, right? And some cooks and pujaris, you know, all paid, everything 5-star. And then we'll have fantastic preaching. Right? Does it work?
Wrong.
No.
Wrong, exactly. Then you deserve all the troubles that you will get.
We have practical experience.
We have seen, right? Yeah. And they come and they stay as long as it takes to get residency or to get work permit, and then they go out and make more money for themselves. And you barely ever see them. Whose fault is it? Our fault. Our fault. Because we did not do the process properly. It's just like if you think that you can make something beautiful, you can't put, you know, something in the microwave for 30 seconds and then you think it's going to be perfect. Whether it be in cooking or it be with projects or it be with people. You have to understand the process. And that Krishna is time. Yeah. So right now here we're more in the team building phase. We're just building the team and refining the vision. And that's an ongoing process. It's not something that you do, oh, we did that 30 years ago. We talked about this stuff, you know, preaching books, temple, this, that. Yeah, but maybe there was some flaws. Maybe there was some, you know, we did not have everything. And then again, like Prabhupada, he also had that idea. Let me become a big businessman. And then I can preach, because then I have resources, I have status, and people will appreciate. But he said Krishna had another plan. Yasyaham manugrinami harishitatanam shana. Yeah, I know, we don't like that shloka. Like Viparashad, what's that? Kunti Marani? Viparashad kutakshashva tatra tatra jagatguru bhavato darshanam yatsya apunar bhavadarshanam. I was praying that as my regular routine. And then what happened? Calamities came again and again. And I said, okay, maybe I put that shloka in the, in the box and I leave it there because I had enough trouble for now. Just give me a break, okay. I know, it's a fact. But so, Prabhupada met his Gurudev in 22. He got initiated in 33. He went on Jaladuta in 65. 43 years, a lifetime in preparation. And we are here for a very short time. And we think, where is the mandir? Where are the million of people going? Kijai, Kijai, Kijai. Yes, we could be somewhere else, doing something else. But what question is there of glorious victory if there is no struggle to attain? What are you looking for? People throwing flowers and sweets and money at you? It becomes a little old, it gets a little boring after a while, you know. Like for us white elephants, when we go to India and some places, people just, you know, give you all of that and you think like, you know, so what? Okay, it's appreciations. You offer it up to Guru and Krishna. But whenever I travel, people ask me, okay, where was the best prasad, you know? Where is the best mango? You know that story from Chaitanya Charitamrita? The mango story? They did Nagar Sankirtan, and then somebody gave the mango seed and planted in the courtyard of Srivas Thakur's house, and big tree appeared even though it was not in season, mango was not in season, and immediately so many hundreds of fruits, and they picked 200 of them and offered them. And the mangoes were so excellent that there was hardly no skin or seed, and you eat one, you're completely satisfied. So you want to ask me, where is the best mango that I've eaten? El Salvador. El Salvador, Central America. Best mango I've ever eaten. Now, Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, he said, the sweetest mango is preaching in Moscow in the winter. That is the sweetest mango. Now, I built a school in Mayapur 30 years ago, and we have over a dozen mango trees, and we have lychee, guava, chiku, banana, papaya, all come to Mayapur. But I have never tasted the mango, because I'm never there during mango season. So the sweetest fruits are those trees that you plant, whose fruits you will never eat. Like here, we're preparing the orchard. We're still working on the foundation. We're still tilling the ground. We're still getting, you know, some of the obstacles out of the way, and then creating the atmosphere where this beautiful oasis, this beautiful orchard can grow. And so many beautiful jivas will be attracted. And we'll do bigger and greater things than we could ever imagine. Huh? Those are the sweetest fruits that will be offered to Radha and Krishna. And that is our process. That is our process. So don't let Rajagun and Sattvagun and Tamagun divert us or distract us from the essence. Because otherwise, we will
But
miss
we are
it.
the binding with that three good.
Yeah.
So how we can come out from there?
Vidyante hridaya grantis, chidyante sarva sankshaya, kshiyante. Vidyante hridaya grantis, it's too early in the morning. My system is not yet fully booted up. You can cut this by this sort of knowledge. You have to read Prabhupada's books. It's not enough to have them on the shelf. People will ask, what does it say there in your Bhagavad? You have to know. You have to know. You may not know all the shlokas by heart, but you have to know the concept, the idea. Okay, the torchlight of knowledge, the sword, cut, like the banyan tree. You know from Bhagavad Gita, right?
Yeah,
Urdhva mula mata shakam ashvatam, and so on, right? Yeah, so you have to be able to cut that bondage. But that means I have to take that Dibba Gyan and apply it. It's not enough to say, I know. You also have to apply it. It's Gyan and Vigyan. You have to do it. Otherwise, there's no realization, there's no transformation. Information without application does not lead to transformation. Because the realization aspect is missing. Okay. And for that we need Sangha. It's a team sport. You can't do it alone.
More questions.
Maybe after. We'll be here for a few more sessions. Everybody has a timeline. So we continue. I'm here. Tonight, tomorrow morning, tomorrow night. Okay. Grata Srimad Bhagavatam.
Ki jai.
Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Ki jai.
Gaur Vaishnava.
Navina Nirada ki
Jai.
jai.